Well, I've got one heck of a report to share with you guys today. If you're anything like me and you're a bit of a conspiracy theorist, then you probably have watched The Simpsons over the years, who, by the way, have accurately predicted numerous things. I'm talking at least 20, 25 to 30 things that have happened in the United States of America and across the globe. Well, now they have some 2026 predictions that could come to pass. And if they are true, well, it could mean no more episodes for The Simpsons, if you will, because quite frankly, what they predict is chilling to the very core. But let's start first with some of the predictions that have come to pass. If you followed my channel for quite some time, you may have heard of some of these. And by the way, speaking of, please make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. Share this video with everyone. YouTube doesn't share it, so please make sure you are sending this to everyone you know. But let's go here. For the first prediction that I want to focus on, probably one of the biggest predictions by The Simpsons, and that is the fact that they predicted Donald Trump's presidency in 2000. Donald Trump was actually seen going down an escalator, and in the video, Donald Trump was going down an escalator. But this was one of the largest predictions I believe they made. Not only that, here's another one here, and this is on CBS News. The Simpsons predicted Lady Gaga's Super Bowl performance in 2012, actually flying in the air, if you will, and the whole 9 yards-ish. Then we also have The Simpsons predicted the COVID outbreak over 20 years prior. This is on the New York Post. And then we also have Screen Rant. Now, this one actually gets into multiple things that were predicted by The Simpsons, and probably some of the biggest ones here. And I'll start with this, and there's Donald Trump coming down the escalator. Of course, I've already touched this one, but there's some new ones in here. Lisa wears Kamala Harris's purple pantsuit. No joke. There's actually an image of Kamala Harris in a purple suit with a necklace just like that. So it's kind of predicting the rise of Kamala Harris, if you will. Thank God they did not win the presidency, but that's yet another prediction. Cypress Hill performing with the London Symphony Orchestra. That actually did happen. A flu virus that originates from Asia, outbreak of the flu. We've probably had that a few times. Murderous hornets. As you know, we've got bees that can cause some serious problems. And murderous. And this is another episode. And then we have the downfall of J.C. Penney's. We also have one of the Beatles replies to a fan's decades later, well after the fact. And then we have Mr. Burns planning to block the sun. As you know, this is something that is right now in the pocket of Mr. Globalist Bill Gates, who is literally looking into technology to block the sun. So this is absolutely in an episode of The Simpsons. And then Homer takes a submarine on a failed expedition. Remember the failed expedition that went underwater and never came back up? Well, that was yet again another prediction by The Simpsons. Richard Branson goes to space, and as you know, Branson did make history by being the first founder of the commercial space flight company to travel personally into space in 2021. The baby translator, we actually have machines now that can translate virtual reality and these Apple things. This was created by, I think, Zuckerberg and others. We actually have the ability to do that. And then the white party with P. Diddy. There you go. All on a few episodes of The Simpsons. Now, before I go on, I got to give a quick shout out to my sponsor, Noble Gold Investments. Look, if you are insuring your retirement, or I want to encourage you to insure your retirement, because look, you insure your car, you insure your house, you insure your health, you insure a lot of things, but are you insuring your retirement? And this is something that Noble Gold Investments can absolutely help you with. They're not about chasing returns. It's all about managing risk. And this is what they can do. I want to encourage you, give them a call today at 1-877-646-5347 and talk to one of their no-hassle specialists about how they can help you. And they can help in a lot of ways. They can get you a 401k, a Roth IRA backed by gold, silver, precious metals, things that are more tangible. Or even if you want to ship gold and silver to your home, they can help you out with that. And if you call them, make sure you mention my name, because they are giving away this awesome 3-ounce silver virtue coin with any new or qualified account. And even if you want if you want to get a free wealth protection kit, fill out the information on the screen, click email me my wealth kit, and they will send you one absolutely free. Now, if you're thinking about your future and your family, now is absolutely the time to get in contact with somebody at Noble Gold. Again, you can also go to lisahavengold.com. If you want more information, click that more button or click the link in the description box below. And by the way, there's always a risk to investing. There's never a guarantee. All right. So with all of that, you've heard a lot of the predictions that have came true by the Simpsons. And there's others, by the way. I think some of the other ones that I didn't even touch on is smartwatches, right? They predicted smartwatches in the future. The FIFA corruption scandal is yet another one. And you guys could probably list some below, but Disney buying 20th Century Fox, something else that happened, and a lot of others. But the question is, what do they have in store for the future, or what could be our potential things that could happen in 2026? Well, the Daily Mail put up this article on that and kind of went over, what people are chatting about on the internet regarding the Simpsons. Seems to be a topic, one that I'm interested in, by the way. I'm curious, are you interested in the Simpsons? Leave me a comment in the Simpsons. I think I said symptoms. Simpsons. Leave me a comment below. I'd love to hear it. But here on this Daily Mail article, it says the Simpsons chilling predictions for 2026 that could actually come true. Now, here's some of the things that they talk about for 2026. AI taking over jobs. In a 2012 episode of The Simpsons titled Them Robot, AI gets more powerful and takes over the jobs of people in Springfield, the town where the show is based. In season 23, Mr. Burns replaces most of the employees with robots who end up turning on him before the employees he laid off come to his rescue. I actually saw that episode. It was rather intriguing, but mind-blowing because there is a fear that AI could absolutely turn on humanity. We already know that they are taking over jobs. I mean, they can take over jobs in journalism. They could take over jobs in accounting. I mean, you name it. AI can pretty much handle a lot of things that were handled by people in the past. So AI taking over jobs, absolutely something that I see in the future. I think we all do. We don't even have to debate that. Space tourism is another one. In 1994, The Simpsons suggested space travel for the general public as a possibility by sending Homer into space, right? So basically, they send Homer into space, and what this episode portrays is just the average everyday person going into space. Now, we already had our first mission of regular Joe Schmoes, or should we say celebrities? I don't like to call them celebrities because a bunch of them are radical lefties. But as you know, the Blue Origin, they didn't go fully to space. I'm going to say the edge of the atmosphere. But anyway, they call it space tourism. They traveled to the edge of the atmosphere, but it's first time non-astronauts, if you will, were flying up into space. So the Simpsons is saying that this is definitely something that we could see in the future. And then, of course, we have a new super flu that could potentially hit. Right now, there are actual U.S. states across the country that have skyrocketing cases of a super flu strain. I believe one of those is here in Arizona. But basically, they predicted this more than 30 years ago in a 1993 episode where Marge basically makes these cookies, I believe, that are the or baked goods that are the cure for the disease, and everybody's going after Marge for the cure. But basically, social breakdown becomes so widespread from panic and disease in this episode. Now, obviously, I hope nothing like that happens, but hey, there's a super flu prediction there as well. Then we also have these easy ones. Smart technology will take over our home. I think that's a given. We're already seeing that. Environmental disasters, I think we're already seeing that. There's been some severe floods that have hit last year. I predict we could obviously see this in the future. Aliens coming to Earth. This has been on their predictive list for quite a while. I don't see that happening, at least not this year anyway. But hey, there is Homer Simpson with an episode of The X-Files. So that's another prediction that they have. And then this one is probably the most shocking one. World War III predictions. Since The Simpsons first aired, there have been several references to World War III. In one 1987 short, Homer is convinced that a third world war has started and insists the family head to homemade shelter for protection. Then it references some other ones there. But because tensions are rising all across the globe, I do feel that this could be one. I mean, if you think about what's happening right now with Donald Trump, thank God we've got a Nicolas Maduro. Of course, the left is crapping their pants about this, even though Joe Biden and Kamala Harris put a $25 million bounty on his head for the same thing. I think they're just mad that Donald Trump accomplished what they couldn't, but I digress. We also see Donald Trump threatening like Cuba, Mexico, and some of these other places. And I don't know that I don't know the stance on it as of yet, but threats have been put out there by Donald Trump to some of these other places if they continue to harm the U.S. And he'd use the Monroe Doctrine, which Justice Knight covered on Restricted Republic. I hope you guys go there and check it out. But also there's tensions, obviously, between Russia, Ukraine, Iran, and the U.S. Actually, Donald Trump threatened that if Iran continues to, target their protesters and kill some of their protesters, that he would intervene. So we also have threats between Donald Trump and Iran. We have threats between China and Taiwan. So the world is on fire. And so World War III prediction is definitely up there in my book. And the final prediction they make, and if this one comes true, well, that would be the end of the series for The Simpsons, because the world would end. The end of the world. This episode is interesting, though, because Homer goes around and says, he basically is convinced that the end of the world is coming and he's going to get raptured. And in the end, his prediction doesn't fall through and he gets raptured, just him. And he convinces God to postpone the apocalypse or whatever it was. At least that's kind of how I read it. So interesting episode nonetheless, but obviously I don't believe that is going to be happening in 2026 at all. But anyway, wanted to bring you the latest. And I want to know, what do you think on the list of things that could potentially happen in 2026? Do you think any of it's relevant for 2026? What do you think could happen in the future? I'd love to hear your comments, thoughts, and concerns. But with all of that, I love you all. I'm Lisa Haven, signing out.